So this is part 3 of car buying tips. I'm a teacher, I'm a dad, and I've been having to buy cars recently, and so I hope that these tips will help you out. We're going to look at pre-purchase inspections, how to inspect a car. I mean, not like in a mechanic way, but I'll show you what I'm talking about, or just for it, right? But main thing is, be open-minded, y'all, because, it's not 1986. Lee Iacocca is not alive to run Chrysler. We loved him. He helped to save the Statue of Liberty, and he told us to buy American. But, I mean, what did Walmart do? What did Clinton do? He opened up China to the world, China trade to welcomed into the world monetary, family, and everything's, made in China or whatever. And so this Buy American thing, why? American car companies have been screwing us for decades. Chevy, Ford, constantly breaking down. They have the technology to do so much better, but they, like with healthcare, they keep us sick, Why make a car that's going to last 40, 50 years when we can make one that's good for 10, and these suckers will buy another one in 10 years? Well, it's time to be open-minded about foreign companies, because Toyota, yes, the parts are made in Japan, but also in Mexico, put together in Nashville, in San Antonio, in the U.S., and so they're not foreign companies anymore. So our tax dollars are paying for America, or our dollars are staying here, paying Americans to have these jobs in America, in American factories, and the tax dollars are staying here in the U.S. versus these crappy, cars that Chevy and Toyota and others have been selling us for years that are going to break down, even though they can do better, they know better. So it's very important to do a pre-purchase inspection. We're going to look into that. So I just Googled car inspection pre-purchase, and so you can find some videos that talk about, why it's important, how it works, what are they going to look for, that sort of thing. Some of them might say like, oh, here's some ideas of where to get a pre-purchase, vehicle inspection. And so there's one here on YouTube, and we'll just take a quick look at a quick sneak peek at this 25-minute video. Just a quick short part of it. Today, we're going to show you how to do a pre-purchase inspection. So again, there's several YouTube videos that are very similar to that, and then here's one that says, how do you do your own pre-purchase inspection from Road and Track, and so on. So whether it's yourself, if you feel comfortable with that, or a mechanic, it's just very important to do a really good inspection. So I went ahead and Googled also just auto pre-purchase inspection or car pre-purchase inspection. It should come up. And so there's companies that are national companies, like Lemon Squad is one of them. It varies on whether it's a truck, whether it's a car, an SUV, or whatever. So it varies, like, because of size or because of like location, like maybe it's like bigger cities might have it. So in the Rio Grande Valley in Deep South Texas, there may or may not be a Lemon Squad car inspector available locally, and so there might be other ones available. And so if anyone's out there that's a mechanic or what have you, we need you to maybe, I don't work for Lemon Squad. I'm not saying it's the best company, but like we need y'all to maybe sign up to be work for Lemon Squad or Palm Car. I think I might be wrong, but I think Palm Car, I think it's like owned by Navy or military veterans and so on. It might be a different one. So, I'm not getting any money from these folks. They don't know I'm doing this, but I mean, I know they're out there. I've used some of them. There's pros and cons, and they're definitely you can check out what does it look like? What report am I going to get? Am I going to get photographs? Am I going to get how much of a checklist do you have? And of course, read reviews, right? Is Lemon Squad even that good, or is Pump Car better, and that sort of thing. So I just Googled auto pre-purchase inspection, and for me, it came up like, oh, there's this local person, or, in Edinburgh, nearby McAllen and so on, that's available for this. Um, and JD Power gives all these awards for driving and stuff, or rather for cars, and they've got their own, like, understanding pre-purchase inspection. So I want to encourage you, again, to do your homework. Don't just go to the dealership. Do your homework first, and maybe talk to your mechanic if you have one and say, listen, can I pay you a few bucks? I would say 40, 70, maybe 120 at the most, depending on what they're going to check, right? They might run it through this, pressure and whatever. And I say this not to be sexist, but I say this because, unfortunately, mechanics are, assuming anything, a lot of my family members are mechanics. But I mean, they're honorable people, but there's some shady characters out there that, if you're a woman, they're going to make up crap and take your money just for any time they get a chance, right? So here's one online that's $279 to $2,569. And depending on what you're looking for, like, I would definitely say my absolutely top would be like 250. Like, even, like, that's too much. And I don't know these guys, and maybe they're legit, but I mean, this is maybe for motorhomes and stuff, so maybe that's why, what I mean? So it depends on the size, But then locally, without, I just looked at auto pre-purchase inspection. Some of these folks come up, whether they in fact offer this or not, I don't know. Although this one does say, like, it does provide that, right? And I don't know these people. If you're out there, hope you're legit, and I hope you're good people. And but again, maybe start with your mechanic that you trust, and ask them if you can do like a, what do you call it, a test drive and bring the car over, or if they can go with you to maybe even shop for a car or whatever, depending on their, they're busy. I'm just saying, there might be that service if you're needing it. Why not at least ask, So other websites that can take you there, but I know again that um, these two companies are out there that are national, so that might be something that helps. And especially if I'm in McAllen, I'm looking at 4.5 hours away. Let's just say I really like a car, but it's in San Antonio, or maybe it's in Houston. Am I going to drive there and stay at a hotel or whatever else, and then I get there and the car is really bad? Yeah, and so even though these inspections cost a little money, they're going to save you that trip, and they're going to save you, of course, long-term heartache. And so, it's not easy, but it's an investment that hopefully can, work out for you for peace of mind. So here's Pump Car, and it is in fact veteran owned. Though I did use them, and I mean, it wasn't perfect for me, but I was grateful because they found some problems, and so, the car left a bad taste in my mouth, but this company didn't. I'm not saying, it's the best company out there. What I went with was actually my cousin, who's a mechanic, and he's actually the one that checked out some vehicles for me. That was the most satisfaction I had, because I talked to him on the phone and so on. Whereas with Pump Car and another different car company, pre-inspection company that I used, I might have just gotten an email, and it was like really vague, or I did maybe a different guy that was, again, the car didn't work out, but I talked to him on the phone, and he was from a similar company, and again, the car didn't work out, but I was grateful that he picked up the phone and told me the honest, sort of take on it, without making any guarantees, of course, because there just isn't any guarantees in life, really. But Pump Car is pretty cool to look at. It tells you why should you trust them. Shows you some stuff that they inspected and how it worked out. Of course, some really good reviews. But then, like, there's some cool stuff here, like, well, these are the prices, by the way, and of course, check on what it actually means, right? But then also, they've got some, like, I guess, articles or whatever, like, don't overpay for used cars, stuff like that. So it's worth looking at some of these websites. And again, don't be in a hurry. Like, take your time. I know it's frustrating, but it's worth it to make sure that you've got the right car for you, for your needs. So the next video, we'll talk about actually finding cars, and so we'll get into that next.